10-yard penalty brings second down.
Well, they give Muhsin Muhammad holding Lynch. He's got his left hand on his shoulder. I think that's where they got the call, but where Deshaun Foster is not showing patience is they're getting Stussy out in front of him right here. He's got to duck right underneath that if he can, and instead he keeps taking everything wide to the sidelines, and that's one of the things that Stephen Davis was so good at being able to get his shoulders square and head north and south.
Handoff is to Rod Smart, who's fumbled once in this game, able to recover it, a gain of 2. And in case you're just joining us, Stephen Davis, who has had huge games for Carolina against other NFC South teams, including 142 against Tampa Bay back in September, is out with a bad ankle. So Deshaun Foster is making his first NFL start here today.
And remember, this is a Panthers team that averaged like 5 yards a carry coming into this game and averaging about 2.5 so far in this one. So the guys up front, that iron triangle in the middle, have done the job stopping the run.
Derrick Brooks just checked out of the lineup for Tampa Bay. Here's another quick throw to Smith. And it's Warren Sapp who ends up on his back. A gain of 4.
And they continue to move Simeon Rice around. Derrick Brooks looks like he may be banged up a little bit, but Simeon Rice, he's going to drop right here. He's going to try to get out there underneath that wide receiver screen.
We've seen Booger McFarland and now Warren Sapp both make tackles on wide receivers in the flat. These guys just phenomenal athletes.
45-yard try for John Casey. And this one is hooked right through. Nobody better in the game right now than John Casey. He's hit 2 today, 21 consecutive field goals made by the lefty. And with that, it's a 6-point lead for Carolina.
Everybody in the box try to shut this down. Ron, as always, whoever gets lower out of these two groups is going to win this possession.
Low man wins always in the NFL. Blake. He does it himself. It looks like he got it. Dave McGinnis did not double clutch on that one. No hesitation at all.
No. Ooh, I don't know about that. That's a tough spot right there.
Yeah,
now.
it is.
That is a tough spot. Max says we got it.
That's what it's about. Now Kidna trying to get his team back in a tie, dumps it off and overshoots a tight end, looking for a Tony Stewart, number 86.
That was a throwaway. No, he wasn't looking to complete that ball. The pocket was collapsing.
Which means Hunter Smith averaging nearly 45 yards per punt this season. He had 45 on his first attempt today. David Allen waiting at his own 30. Smith up high, gets caught up in the wind and just stops. It halted as it came around the 40-yard line, and now it's scrum.
Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers.
(13-7), Carolina on top, and Casey drills it. Jones from the 5. Penalty flag on the play. Every kick or punt return, there's a flag down.
There is some passion out of these Carolina Panthers special teams guys, too. You should see these guys just sprinting down the field. They want a piece of this. They realize how big this is to get a chance to knock the world champions off the box here.
And it's a hold against the Buccaneers. So again, Tampa Bay will start with it deep in their own territory.
Tampa better start matching the passion of the Carolina Panthers, or they are going to get knocked out of the box.
Number 52, during the return, if he half the distance to the goal, first down, timeout.
Meeting with Jon Gruden yesterday, he appeared tight, knowing how big and important this game was. So far, Carolina leads by 6 with 8.5 to go, third quarter.
Thanks for taking care of that.
No monthly payments until 2004.
That Sunday.
Makes this play along with Lance Briggs with a three-man front, Kurt. I mean, they're controlling the line of scrimmage with three. Look at 1, 2, 3, and then watch Briggs, 55, the rookie. Watch him play this thing. And there you see, we talked about earlier, he kind of overcommits, but he's got the quickness to get back. So a three-man line controlling the line of scrimmage with the help of the rookie linebacker, Briggs.
Got it.
$70,000 employees, many of them third generation, are just working people, working their tails off, just so you can get on the phone and ask what's for dinner, or say ship 5,000 widgets to my warehouse. Most people take the old dial tone for granted. We don't. We can't. Ordinary people, extraordinary job. SBC. Going beyond the call.
Sometimes you need a little help staying in the game. Introducing new Levitra. It's a new choice, and it's here now. Ask your doctor if a free sample is right for you. Ask about new Levitra.
They just finished taping up the right wrist of Derrick Brooks. His return is probable. Starting from their own 9, down by 6. The Bucs hand it to Pittman. Big hole right up the middle of the field, and Michael Pittman has a first down. A gain of 12.
This has been a tough year all the way around for this Carolina franchise off the field. Sam Mills, of course, one of the favorites all time. They have a statue to the guy out front battling cancer, as well as Mark Fields, their outstanding linebacker and tremendous player on the defense. And yet these two guys really have been the inspiration for what the Panthers have done thus far this season.
First down. Out of the backfield, it's Pittman. And a penalty flag back in the area where Brad Johnson is slow to get up. And this could be a roughing the passer. Personal foul against Carolina.
Well, Peppers and Rucker both got back there on him that time.
Personal foul, roughing the quarterback, hit him below the knees, 15-yard penalty, first down.
I just don't really know what these guys are to do. You know, you see Peppers going down, and I don't think he was trying to take any vicious shot at him, but he rolls up and Brad falls over him, and they're very, very careful about protecting the quarterback, and it's such a huge penalty. And the yards that are added on to that, it's just very unfortunate.
That's terrible, isn't it, Troy? I mean, really, these guys are playing ball. Let them play some ball.
Handoff is to Jones, and a gain of 3.
You know, Chris, you talked about Mark Fields and how much this Carolina defense misses him. Talking with John Fox the other day, there's things that Mark Fields was able to do that they just have not been able to replace. Part of that was his ability as a pass rusher. He had 7.5 sacks last year and a great leader for this football team. And Greg Favors has come in and he's done a good job, but you're never going to replace the abilities of a guy like him.
You know, at least they got Dan Morgan back, and Greg Favors has done a good job, but getting Dan Morgan has added a little bit of that speed back to the mix.
Second down and 8. Play action from Johnson. Airs it out for Keyshawn Johnson, falling as he makes the catch. And now they're saying incomplete. Johnson pleading his case, but the call is incomplete. Cousin and Grant were around him, and Johnson still saying he caught it. And they're going to challenge it. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have thrown the challenge flag.
This is one of the few opportunities that Keyshawn Johnson has had to go down the field. It did not look like he had possession, and it did look like the ball might have hit the ground. It could have been a good call from that angle. Hard to tell completely.
I don't know that the ball ever did hit the ground. He definitely didn't have possession there, but it kind of looked like it got hung up on his thigh. I'd have to see another angle, I think, to get a real clear look.
But remember, it has to be conclusive, and since they've called it incomplete, it's going to be very difficult because of the way the ball was slipping out of there to say that it didn't ever touch the ground. It has to be conclusive that it didn't, and I don't know that you could tell that either.
Let's see if we can see it here. No doubt he doesn't have it on his way down. And you can't see it there either. So we haven't seen anything so far, Chris, that would change the call on the field.
Boy, it is close, though.
That could be an angle they could check out as Keyshawn keeps talking about it with the officials.
Taxi! Taxi!
First quarter, one went to Marvin Harrison, and then Manning throwing another touchdown pass to the big tight end Marcus Pollard. Peyton Manning has thrown for 190 yards and 2 touchdown passes. Also, the kicker for the Colts, Mike Vanderjagt, 2 field goals. He has now made 23 straight field goals for the Colts. Right now, 5 minutes.
So far, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 0 for 2.
In the process of catching the ball, it's at his side. When he goes to the ground, the ball hits the ground and bounces back up into his hand. It's an incomplete pass.
So now Tampa Bay 0 for 3 on challenges this season.
Well, he made it sound like it was really conclusive that it hit the ground. I couldn't see that. I thought it was more of one of those calls that, regardless of which way they called it, it would have stayed that way. I just didn't see it that conclusively.
So that will cost Tampa Bay a timeout, and it's 3rd down and 8 with a ball at their own 43. There's a hold, and Johnson throws it away. Kenyatta Walker will be guilty of a hold. A hold or a takedown.
It's hard to tell who likes Kenyatta Walker less now, Michael Rucker or Julius Peppers. They are both getting after him pretty good.
Holding, number 67, offense. The penalty is declined. 4th down.
But again, we mentioned it earlier, Kenyatta Walker, who has been their right tackle, has been moved to left tackle the last 2 weeks. He likened it to a right-handed person all of a sudden having to write with his left hand. It has obviously been an adjustment for him. Again, he struggled last week, and he's had some problems against one of the premier pass rushers in the league today.
Roman Oben, the typical starting left tackle, has a broken hand, so he is out. And Tupa gets away a good one with Steve Smith on the return. Gets a hit along the sideline, but no penalty flag comes in. Churchu on the tackle. 39-yard punt. 5-yard return. Churchu. Thank you. 13-7 Panthers, and they have the ball.
The image issue.
Consume the clock. A 12-yard touchdown pass to Desmond Clark. Lions come back.
Got it. And turns on the Jets, and you're not catching him. As electrifying as he is, and he's got this crowd flying high here in Pittsburgh. Look at all these folks just going nuts.
The name alone sounds dangerous. Reed adds another one. And we're rolling with L.
Where's the line between you and everyone else? You sense it shifting, blurring, fading. So you question things. You think about things.
I thought you were gonna block.
Man, I thought you were gonna run.
The reviews are in for the new comedy Arrested Development.
Excuse me.
No, they're good. TV Guide calls it the season's first great comedy.
You want a cage for that?
No, I'm a magician. What is your return policy, by the way?
Ron Howard's Arrested Development, all new after Malcolm tonight.
Jake Delhomme goes to work. Up by 6. Toss to Foster. Cuts it up. Good run by Deshaun Foster, and they will mark him down. It looks like just shy of first down yardage, or right at it. Dwight Smith on the tackle.
And a great job there by Deshaun Foster. We talked about it a little bit earlier in the game that he had to get going north and south. He starts stretching them out. Geno, James and company coming out. But then once he sees the lane, he plants his outside foot and he gets going north and south. Just a good job by that offensive front and Brad Hoover, but a really good job by Deshaun Foster getting north and south with the run.
They gave Foster enough for a first down, and they hand to him running the same direction. John Lynch with the biggest hit of the 3 that he took. First guy there was Brooks. A gain of only 1. The team leaders for the Carolina Panthers. The numbers for Jake Delhomme, and that interception turned into a touchdown by Tim Wansley. Steve Smith has been busy on offense and returning punts, and Mike Minter with that interception return for a touchdown. The first return for a touchdown of any sort by Carolina this season. Second down and 9. Foster again. Same side. Rudd.
Nope.
The first one to get to him. 3rd and long coming up for Carolina. We go for a game break and check in with James Brown.
All right, Joe, take a look here. Atlanta getting healthy here. Kurt Kittner back, hooking up with the fullback Justin Griffith. 5-yard strike, 14-7 Atlanta. They're threatening to score again. And here is Bruce Smith with his career 197.5 sack. He is 1 away from setting the all-time record. Bruce Smith and the Skins right now ahead by 3. Back to Joe Brown.
Bruce Smith, who had an interesting week with Steve Spurrier and comments that were made.
I think they all had an interesting week this week.
3rd down and 9. Down the middle. This is Prohl. Ricky Prohl. Touchdown. No flags.
I have never seen the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense blow as many coverages as they have today. I have never seen this.
You know, I talked to Dan Henning yesterday, and he said that we're going to try to be patient with our passing game and then try to take a shot down the field. Ricky Prohl, who's in his first year here with Carolina, just runs a flat-out go. And as you mentioned, Chris, just a busting coverage by Tampa Bay.
Ricky Prohl gets his 3rd touchdown of the season, 66 yards from Jake Delhomme.
Look at them. They're all looking around at each other and not pointing fingers, but saying, where are you?
It's 20-7. So the Buccaneers, who lost the Super Bowl MVP Dexter Jackson Over the offseason, they've had injuries. They're missing Brian Kelly. It's starting to show. Ronde Barber has had a rough afternoon in Carolina. Panthers celebrate a 20-7 lead.
In 5 days, one movie will...
To David Boston. 1st and 10. Play action, looking down the middle of the field, and he checks it off to Shipp. Shipp is down to the 10-yard line. And Anquan Bolden, not even the first-round pick, the first round.
You know, it's two mentalities. You're saying, what the heck? We're 1-7, line up and go for it. We're here, we're playing good ball. Just run it right the heck in.
They've got 3 tight ends. Derrick Rackley, who's the long snapper, is in as the 3rd tight end. 4th down. P.J. Duckett, he's in. Touchdown, Falcons.
Well, there's no question about that one.
And they capitalize on the turnover, give it to the big back to plow his way in. And the Falcons have opened up a 13-point lead.
For 60 months, plus no monthly payments until 2004. Imagine how good it'll look in your driveway. West Airlines, a symbol of freedom. By Master and Commander, the year's most anticipated motion picture starring Russell Crowe Friday. By NikeGridiron.com. And by Nissan, who invites you to shift the way you move through the world.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are now forced to dig out of a bigger hole in this game as they try to dig out of a big hole in the NFC South. Thomas Jones on the return is hammered by Rasmussen. Return of 11 yards. And the Buccaneer offense heads back to the field. Ricky Prohl, 2 catches today, 104 yards and a touchdown. Jake Delhomme let it fly. Prohl was waiting for it. And it's a 20-7.
Dan, Boggs replaces your picture phone with dynamite and your head blows clean off. You do have an extra head, don't you, boy?
No, this is...
The Dolphins will go for it on 4th down. Beaver's going to throw it over the middle. Hits his man. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Miami. Woo!
Woo! Show your pride. Call 1-877-NFL-SHOP or go to NFL Shop on NFL.com for the biggest selection of NFL gear. For a free team catalog, call 1-877-NFL-SHOP.
This new NFL network is out of this world. Total access, the best of NFL films. It's just incredibly well done. You know, speaking of well done, why not come on down to Shula's Steakhouse and watch some NFL Network over a nice 20-ounce Kansas City strip. At Shula's, our custom cuts and aging process guarantee NFL fans a fantastic steak experience every
precious second.
Jaguars 20-14. And a 2nd and 10 from the 7-yard line for Jacksonville. First play of the 4th, which will throw. Incomplete, Jimmy Smith. And it'll be 3rd down. Well, Marvin Harrison,
There. Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Microsoft. Your potential, our passion.
Even in victory, Jake Delhomme, the first meeting between these two teams, had a 15.9 quarterback rating. Better today, and it's 20-7 Carolina. Now Brad Johnson goes to work over the middle. It's Pittman. And Michael Pittman picks up 8 back to the touchdown for Ricky Prohl.
Well, for the 2nd time today, John Lynch, who's responsible for this half of the field, is going to bite up on the crossing route here. and allow for the deep pass to go over the top. Ricky Prohl really just clearing out the safety, and when Lynch jumps it, no way for Ronde Barber to get there.
Pass complete. That's Keenan McCardell. He's out to the 41 with a Tampa Bay first down.
Well, we talked about Carolina having an opportunity to knock out the world champs, and they might have delivered the knockout punch with less than 4 minutes to play in the third quarter.
How about the Dallas Cowboys? Their game is coming up later today as they host the Buffalo Bills. In that NFC Eastern Division, it looked like the Giants were starting to get it together. They trail at home to Atlanta 20-7.
Just when you think you got this league figured out, something like that happens.
And that was Yoder, the tight end.
Yeah, I want to go back to John Lynch for a minute. Almost all the Buccaneers that we talked with last night. You're welcome.
False start, number 80, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Almost all the Bucs that we talked with said there is a danger of trying to do too much on this defense. Do your job. Derrick Brooks was telling us even a guy like John Lynch has to be careful after missing 2 ball games of not trying to come in and put it all on his shoulders and do too much. And I think John's been guilty of that today.
First down and 15. Handoff is to Stecker, and he is met and dropped in the backfield. Jenkins. Again, just to come in and talk about what we talked about early, the NFC South and this Carolina team that really gets no national attention still with a 6-2 record.
They will
taking
now
on the 4-4 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and a win today by the Carolina Panthers gives them a stranglehold on the NFC South. They have an easy schedule in December, not so easy in November, but things are looking good around here. Play action from Johnson, and the pass to McCardell is caught for a first down.
And don't forget, last week when this offense had to respond and start making some plays to get them back in the game last week against New Orleans, they were able to do that. There, Keenan McCardell runs a good route against his cover 2 coverage. That's the weakness along the sideline in behind the corner, and Brad Johnson delivers the best throw that he's made today.
And you saw the officials stay with this play. Remember, McCardell has to maintain possession all the way to the ground, or it would not have been a completion.
This is the best field position all game for the Buccaneers. Their only score came on defense as Pittman gains 1.
And they've just not really been able to get quite enough out of their running game in order to stay out of long down situations. They've not been able to get the 4- or 5-yard pops, and when they run the football, trying to take some of the pressure off this offensive line and Brad Johnson, but now here they are looking at a 2nd and long down.
I'll tell you, Julius Peppers ripped around the corner in the running game. We talk about his speed in the passing game, but that time it showed up in the running game.
On 2nd down, Johnson can't hang on. Trying to make a diving catch, incomplete. And if you're Keenan McCardell, you used to play in the shadow of Jimmy Smith with Jacksonville, and now McCardell certainly is not the louder of the two between he and Keyshawn Johnson, but McCardell is the most dependable target for Brad Johnson on this Tampa Bay offense.
You know, he really has become that, Joe. There's no question. He's been their big play guy. He's been the clutch receiver for them. And they're going to need a clutch play here from either Keenan McCardell or Keyshawn Johnson to keep this drive alive.
3rd and 9. Penalty flag on the play, and Johnson is forced out of bounds, well shy of first down yardage. And there is a penalty flag way back near the backfield area for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
They need to calm down, Carolina. This is going to go their way. It looked like a hold. Don't give it away now. Nothing cheap.
There's a hold on Cornell Green, their right tackle.
Boy, is Peppers fast. He made that little inside move. Whew.
Now, Cornell Green just not using his feet at all to try to get in position, and you're going to see working against Julius Peppers, and Julius Peppers starts outside and comes underneath, and that's one of the areas where he's gotten better.
Number 74, offense, 10-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
Here's what Brad Johnson was upset about. This shove that sent him into the bench, but that's interesting that Carolina would accept the penalty.
I agree, Joe.
And give Tampa Bay another shot at picking up a 1st down instead of handing them a 4th down well outside field goal range.
Yeah, they wanted to play field position, but really any punter is still going to be able to drop it down inside the 20, even if you throw an incomplete pass. But you give the Bucs one more shot at staying in this game.
Johnson trying to set up a screen, it looked like. And now brought down from behind. Al Wallace.
Al Wallace got the sack, but Julius Peppers, again, the guy that set that thing up. He just eaten alive over here on the other side. Cornell Green coming off the corner. There's no way that Cornell Green's going to hold up consistently. And when Brad Johnson tried to scramble right back into trouble.
That is the first sack of the game for either team. McCardell was yanked down. He got up hot. They didn't throw a flag on that. And we are at the end of 3 quarters. He is still livid. We move to the 4th quarter in Carolina. Frustrating day for Tampa Bay. They're down by 13.
'21, Indianapolis 20. After the long pass play, Byron Leftwich to Jimmy Smith. 43-yard touchdown to give Jacksonville the lead. Now Ricky Williams on the return for Indianapolis, and he is held up across the 20-yard line by Anthony.
Big cash allowance or low financing, then you've got a growing list of reasons why you should join the crowd. Headed to your Southeast Dodge dealer for the best values in America.
We will look on with wonder. We will progress. We will nurture. We will be focused. Expressive. Incredible. Day in and day out. Every day. What does it take? Energy. To live, work, dream, succeed. Progress Energy.
All right, 2 blocks from school.
You know, Dad, you can drop me off in front today.
Wow. This is weird, you know. I must be dreaming. I can't believe the Queen of Cool is going to take a chance of being seen with moi. I know we could start a club. A cool club. All right, I'll be chilling here at 3.
Got the new Camry?
Daddy loves you.
Cool.
Ow!
Thanks.
Lease an 04 Camry LE for $249 a month for 39 months with $1248 due at signing.
Kenyatta's Hometown Talks tonight at 10.
Keenan McCardell still stomping along the sidelines as it's a 4th down coming up for the Buccaneers.
He has every right to be upset. That was a game-changing call right there because it would have been 1st and 10 for the Bucs had they made it.
Tom Tupa's been busy. So is the guy waiting for it, Steve Smith. And a line drive punt from the 10. Smith out to the 27. Again, here is why Keenan McCardell was upset.
And here is why he should be upset. Not just the fact, okay, they blow the call, but every single official on the field has a matchup of a wide receiver. I went to the seminar one year and we saw down there every official has one wide receiver. So the fact that some official on the field was watching that specific matchup and didn't see that hold is absolutely amazing.
When you're talking about a game like this of this magnitude, those calls become even bigger in the big scheme of things. As you mentioned, if they're able to make that call, then they get a 1st down with a chance to get points.
Up by 13, Carolina has it. They hand to Foster. The Again, we came on the air talking about Foster and his propensity to fumble in college. One of the reasons why he slipped to the second round, but that could be a big pick by the Panthers last year. He didn't play. Knee injury suffered in the preseason a year ago. But I think all in all, he's had an impressive first NFL start.
Well, I do too. I mean, his yards per carry isn't necessarily that high, but to be going up against the defense that he's going up against today in Tampa Bay, making his first start, securing the football, I think he's done a nice job as well.
2nd down and 7. A little flip to Foster, trying to use that speed. And it's Rudd who's the first to meet him, a gain of 2.
I think by and large, though, Joe, Tampa Bay has done a pretty good job of putting the clamps on this running game. And I think now we're just waiting on Simeon Rice to take over the game like he promised us coming into it.
Hey, that's what happens when you throw something out there like that. You better back it up.
I think on both sides of the ball, offensively, which is surprising to say, and defensively, Carolina's been the better team today. Defensively, it's been impressive for the Panthers. And offensively, they've hit a couple of big plays. The last one, a 66-yard touchdown throw to Ricky Prohl. End around, and the Panthers were lucky just to get it back to the original line of scrimmage. Boy, Tampa Bay was waiting for that.
Well, Simeon Rice was waiting on it. He does a really nice job. Once Flo goes away, the defensive end on the backside has to contain the play, and he does. He comes upfield, and he's right there to make the play, and that's why they weren't able to get outside and do anything with that with Moose and Muhammad.
But if Stephen Davis were playing the game, you would have seen 3 power runs on that series, and instead they're forced to go into a little bit more of a gimmicky style of offense.
It's Barlow again waiting deep with a punt from Sauerbrunn. And this one heads out of bounds, kicking into that breeze. And it should be good field position for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. On the other side of this break, they're going to mark it all the way at the 36-yard line, a 32-yard punt. Tampa Bay has it.
A kick this season, 27 yards away, to give the Colts the 4th quarter lead. Kick from Vanderjagt is good, and Indianapolis with a 23-21 advantage.
Have 34 and have scored on 6 consecutive possessions.
Puts that up and through. And so a 10:56 left to play in the game. The Bengals have rallied back to take the lead 31-27. Cincinnati kicks off. When we
40-yard line. Tiki Barber. Across the 30 and down close to the 25. They'll spot it at the 26. It's a first down and a good run.
The bag and is bringing down the house. Now, what are you gonna do? Mike Myers. Hairball. The Cat in the Hat. Rated PG.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by Circuit City. We're with you. By AT&T Wireless. Reach out on the wireless service America trusts. AT&T Wireless. By Budweiser. Grab a cold, fresh Budweiser. It's game time. And by the next Ford F-150. Built Ford tough.
Well, a quick stop by the Tampa Bay defense. 3 and out. The Bucs get the ball right back. Down 20-7. 12.5 minutes to play here in Carolina. The best starting field position of the day for the Buccaneers from their own 37. Play action. Johnson with time and finds Keyshawn Johnson. He had lost the defender Ricky Manning, and he was wide open for a 20-yard completion.
Sean, going to talk about it a little bit, too, going up against the rookie, Ricky Manning, who is the nickelback. And now the Bucs going into their 2-minute offense, which I'm surprised they didn't get to it early. This is when they were really effective last week. Should have started this one in the third quarter.
Over the middle, it's tipped and nearly picked off. Shane Burton able to get a hand up and knock it off its path. The NFC has been set on its ear from a year ago. You look at the division leaders and how they finished in 2002. The Dallas Cowboys, as we mentioned, with a big game coming up later as they host Buffalo. Minnesota at 6-2, Seattle at 6-2. They're in a fight today with Washington. Second down and 10. That's McCardell. And the pass completed for 6 yards.
If the Bucs are going to come up with a big play, I believe it has to be Michael Pittman. Right now, Dan Morgan is taking him one-on-one coming out of the backfield. Now, Dan Morgan's a 4-5 guy, too. But we saw it last week. Pittman has the ability one-on-one against any linebacker in this league to make a big play. They need to get to that matchup.
Play clock is down to 16 and counting. I believe the Buccaneers may very well be in 2-down territory here with 3rd down and 4, even with 11:20 and counting on the clock. On 3rd down, Brad Johnson steps up and he'll run for a 1st down. And an awkward slide down to the 22.
Well, not real pretty, but pretty effective. You know, Brad Johnson gets pressure, which keeps him from being able to sit in the pocket and look to deliver the ball. But it also opens up the throwing lane, as you're going to see right there, and Brad's able to take it. And because everybody's playing coverage, and let's face it, Brad Johnson's not a guy who scrambles much, but he does a good job there of knowing where he had to go to get the 1st down and picking it up.
Longest run of the year for Johnson, 13 yards. He has his basketball coach from high school in Black Mountain, North Carolina here. His baseball coach didn't make it. Johnson slips, fires, has Keyshawn Johnson. He is in for the touchdown. And with 10:20 to go in the 4th quarter, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are officially back in this game.
Just awfully tough to knock out the world champions.
Well, they bring a 4-man rush, and he still gets a little bit of pressure. He slips right there and is a little late on the throw, but because of the coverage, Deon Grant, the safety, not able to get over the top in time, even though Brad Johnson was late on the throw. Nice job of Keyshawn making the play and getting it in the end zone.
A big extra point. And it's not automatic for Tampa Bay against this Carolina team. Getting 2 field goals and an extra point blocked in their first meeting. All of a sudden, it's a 6-point game here in North Carolina with the Panthers on top.
Hey, DVDs. What did you get?
CDs.
Video games. Oh, I wanted that one too. That's such a good one.
Those are the penalties that were accepted. 4 on the offense, 5 on the defense. There were a couple declined. And
National Overnight Ground Synchronized. UPS. What can Brown do for you? But crisis takes a turn
He's closing in on the virus
that no one is prepared for.
Tony, the virus is out!
In all new 24 at 9, 8 Central, Fox Tuesday.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by UPS. What can Brown do for you?
4th and goal for the Cardinals. Pump fake. Blake. Throw, it's caught.
Do they give
Johnson has it. What do they give it?
Nope, they don't.
Next time you hear the term versatility, this is what they're talking about. You're a G.
Aren't you tired of frozen dinners?
Make it Campbell.
Ball to me was not across the plane.
And like I said, I don't think he has possession either. It won't matter. They mark it at the 1, but it'll be Pittsburgh's ball going the other way.
That was a 4th down, 4th and goal. Had to get a touchdown. Okay, there the ball is across the plane.
But that's where they give him,
exactly.
Right, that's where they give him the completion, and that's obviously not enough.
Kick, and Smith got it out to the 30. 20-yard return. Steve Horn, our editorial consultant in the booth, reminding us that this Tampa Bay team not built as a comeback type team. They did it last week against New Orleans, trying to do it here in Carolina. This helps. 23 yards from Johnson to Johnson. Carolina has it up by 6.
Legally was then caught the ball short of the goal line at this spot. It'll be 1st and 10 Pittsburgh.
All right, so like we said, he was in the end zone when he touched the ball, but by the time he possessed it, came out, he was out.
Just got in a timeout before the 2-minute warning was called with 2:02, so we will have the 2-minute warning coming up after this play, and that is the 3rd and final timeout.
They're going to get another one right here because Washington can't get their personnel straight in the huddle.
McCants comes in as the receiver, and Rock Cartwright went out. Trunk Kennedy is behind Patrick Ramsey. 3rd down and 5. Quick to Gardner, and Gardner's going to throw a pass, and wide open is Trunk Kennedy for the touchdown. You haven't seen Steve Spurrier smile lately, but he does there on the 10-yard flea flicker from Gardner the end to Kennedy.
Ground synchronized. UPS. What can Brown do for you? The crisis takes a turn
He's closing in on the virus
that no one is prepared for.
Tony, the virus is out!
In all new 24 at 9, 8 Central, Fox Tuesday.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by UPS. What can Brown do for you?
Steve Smith, who has been a big weapon for the Carolina Panthers not only today but for the last 5 games now, was banged up and evidently dinged on that kick return. Redskins are up by 7 over Seattle with under 2 to play in Washington. Handoff is to Foster, and now we'll see just how good that running game is or can be for Carolina as we go back to the touchdown throw.
Keyshawn Johnson's going to come in motion, then come out here to the corner, and Deion Grant right here is backing himself right back up into the end zone. There's help on the inside. He's got help coming right down through here. He should have been more focused on the outside of the field there, just late getting there. Perfect pitch and catch, though. Give Brad Johnson credit for a nice play.
Second down and 10. The first sack of the day, and it belongs to Simeon Rice, who gave the guarantee. And that means it's 69 consecutive games with a sack. That's a new all-time record since they kept team sacks from 1963 on.
Well, he just got Todd Stussy moving to the left and then came underneath with a speed move, and well, Jake Delhomme just had no opportunity. He had a throw down the field. They went to an 8-man front expecting run. But Simeon Rice, because of what he's able to do to Todd Stussy, didn't give Delhomme time to deliver.
10 sacks now for Simeon Rice. There's the NFL record, 69 straight. And Delhomme has to burn a timeout. Each side has 2 left. Under 9 to go. It's getting interesting, more and more so as we go. 3rd and forever facing Carolina when we come back.
So I said,
Talk to the hand.
Oh, I'll get lunch. I am getting a really low rate on my credit card.
I hope it's low and fixed.
What do you mean?
Like my Capital One no hassle card.
Low and fixed?
Marco!
Well, what's going to happen to my rate?
Get the Capital One no hassle card with the nation's lowest fixed rates.
What's in your wallet? There's no way this guy's gonna make this kick. I mean, he hasn't made one over 45 all year. It's not a dome stadium. You've got the wind. Forget it. There's no way he makes his kick.
And the kick is up. He missed it.
What? How do you miss that? How do you miss that kick? There's no excuse for missing that.
And an extra point to tie.
Pick up the first down. See, the middle of that defense is vacated, but look at him keep the legs going. Doss comes up to make the tackle, but not until Fred Taylor can power his way through to pick up the first down. And a gutsy call on a 3rd and 7. This drive stays alive. Leftwich, handoff to Taylor, and he tripped up. Mike Doss.
Part of a full hour. And Malcolm's family's broke and desperate for diapers.
That's shoplifting. Then I'm shoplifting.
How far will Hal go to get some? An all-new Malcolm, followed by Ron Howard's Arrested Development. It all starts at 7/6 Central tonight on Fox Laugh Out Loud Sunday.
The sounds of silence from Ericsson Stadium here in Carolina. It's 20-14, and the Panthers have been going backward on this drive, missing Stephen Davis. Now it's 3rd down and 19.
They got to be careful here.
Delhomme is hit from behind, and the ball comes out. It's recovered by the Panthers.
Simeon Rice again. He said he would take over, and he has.
You know, this offensive line has done a pretty good job throughout the ball game today, and as you can see, Jake Delhomme getting into a false sense of security as though he's got more time than what he has. They hold him up here, and Jake's got time to deliver the ball, and you just cannot expect Todd Stussy to keep Simeon Rice off of you for that kind of time.
They're lucky. They are really lucky. That's the 2nd time backed up. They've tried to throw a pass, put the ball in Delhomme's hand, and almost cost him again.
Stussy able to fall on top of it as Sauerbrunn kicks it away. A beautiful punt. Backing up Carl Williams to the 30. And good coverage downfield. We talk about special teams and the difference it can make. It made a difference right there. A 54-yard punt from Sauerbrunn. How about next week? A late game in Tampa, Florida. The Green Bay Packers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And who forgets that hit and this confrontation between Sherman and Warren Sapp as the two made their way off the field after the game. That's next week, 4 Eastern. Bucs trying to win today to get over the 500 mark and climb to within a game of Carolina at the top of the NFC South, down by 6. Keyshawn Johnson, he caught the 23-yard touchdown pass, and now that's his 600th career catch. It's good for 9.
Yeah, and Tampa Bay on the previous possession, they went into their no huddle in order to get back into this game. They scored the touchdown. They cut the game to 20-14. Now they're going back to their huddle up. Chris, you made a good point earlier about the fact that they have had a great deal of success in the last 2 weeks when they've gone to their no huddle.
2nd down and 1. Play action. Out of the backfield, the throw was low, and Jones had to adjust. And on the play, no gain.
Well, the Stars have started to step up for Tampa Bay, as you would expect they would. Throughout 3 quarters of this game, Brad Johnson, Keyshawn Johnson, Simeon Rice, nothing to be heard from. Now, all of a sudden, the championship is on the line. The season is on the line. Their Stars are making plays, and they've still got to keep making a few because this Carolina defense won't quit.
Play clock is down to 10. and he did not make it. About a half-yard short.
Only two words come to my mind right now, and that's Mike Alstott. How much have they missed Mike Alstott this season when they get in those short yardage situations and they have to put one of the two small halfbacks in to try and pick up the first?
Well, now they're going to bring Sapp in the lineup, and they're going for it here on 4th down.
Yeah, that's a little surprising to me. There's still plenty of time. Their defense is on a roll. If they punt and pin Carolina down, more than likely they would get another opportunity for the football. This is a strange decision by Jon Gruden.
I agree. Going for it on 4th and 1, and they roll out, tossing it to Sapp of all people for a first down.
Gosh.
Brad Johnson had a ton of room to run to pick up the first down, and instead he lobs it to Sapp. Well, we know that a large audience just joined this game, and he won't believe what just happened. Down by 6 on 4th and a half yard. Look at all this room for Johnson to run and pick it up. Instead, he underthrows Sapp, and the former high school tight end adjusts to it, makes the catch, and picks up a huge Tampa Bay first down.
Wow.
6 minutes to play. Bucks down by 6. McCardell is wide open. And he dives forward for another Buccaneer first down.
I tell you what, a gutsy call there on 4th down by Jon Gruden to go for it. An even more gutsier call by Brad Johnson to throw it and not run that ball for the first down, particularly when it's Warren Sapp on the receiving end, and it was not a very well thrown ball.
Right. If Brad Johnson had gotten it out there, Warren Sapp would have walked in for a touchdown. Let's see if they can still get it in.
On first down, Brad Johnson drops the football. And it appears he's able to get back on top. Johnson has the ball as Jenkins was there to knock it out of his hands. A loss of 10.
I'll tell you, this offensive line for Tampa Bay on the left side has had their hands full. Kerry Jenkins and Kenyatta Walker. That time, Chris Jenkins just going through the blocker and still able to strip the ball from Brad Johnson. Very fortunate bounce that Brad Johnson was able to recover that one.
2nd down and 20. Johnson airs it out. McCardell the closest to it, and it's knocked away. McCardell is pleading for a flag, won't get it. Reggie Howard was down there defending, and he had help from Minter.
Keenan McCardell thought that Brad was going to lead him more to the sideline. He starts out, and Brad leads him up the field. They're fortunate that wasn't intercepted. Those were the plays that John Fox talked about that they've got to be able to come down with.
And I thought Keyshawn Johnson was open on the play. I think Keenan McCardell thought he was just clearing out for Keyshawn underneath, and Brad decided to go deep. They need about 4 or 5 yards to have a legitimate shot at a field goal here.
And now, because they can't get the play in and get to the line in time, the Buccaneers have to burn a valuable timeout. Left with only 1. 3rd down and 20 when we come back.
Here's a huge play. 3rd down, and the Bengals need 7. Open backfield's got to be a quick drop. Here comes the blitz. Getting the throws. It's caught. And
gain of 5. Rasheed Mathis makes the stop, and Jacksonville uses its final timeout with 1:44 left.
Oh, this is good defense, but this is something that this defense has seen from the Colts all day. And that is checking the back out on 3rd down, dumping it off. It's just like
behind him in the NFC South. On 3rd down and 20. Johnson toward the end zone. The pass is caught. An incredible catch by McCardell. Unbelievable grab by Keenan McCardell.
just as he did a week ago to get the Bucs back in the game, makes another unbelievable catch.
I'm not sure how that ball even got in there.
Wow. That's what world champions do right there.
And now what's staring at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? An extra point to take the lead here late in the fourth quarter. This looked like a one-handed grab.
Well, you know, the only way that they can pick up the first down is to throw something down the field, and they had people all around them, and yet somehow the ball's able to get in there, and Keenan McCardell just making a spectacular catch.
Now the extra point. And the Buccaneers do what they couldn't do in week 2. They get the extra point through to take a late lead. Brad Johnson's reaction. Exuberance and I'm sure astonishment. It's 21-20 Tampa Bay.
Jacksonville, not the case. Jaguars now in a perfect position to win this game. Already within field goal range. You're looking at about a 49-yard attempt. Can they get more yardage? On the ground, Fred Taylor. Nothing there. Marcus Washington, first man to greet him.
And now you see the Colts defense hedging their bet. They're blitzing to try to blow up the run play. Fred Taylor's already done some damage. Over 120 yards rushing so far in the game, and so they're trying to get penetration, expecting Jacksonville to run the football.
A loss of 1 on the play. Indy has used a timeout. They've got 1.
Season-saving catch for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They lose this game and go to 4-5. It is awfully difficult for them to, one, just get back in the playoff hunt, and almost impossible for them to win this division. What a tremendous clutch catch in a very difficult situation.
So it's 21-20. Tampa Bay out in front, their first lead of the day. And now it's up to the Tampa Bay defense, which wasn't up to the task a week ago against New Orleans. That's Rod Smart on the return. Smith on the tackle after a return of 20 yards.
Warren Sapp knows what's on the line today. He's right up in Booger McFarland's face and say, let me tell you something, young buck. It is all on the line. You want another ring on your finger? We have about 4 minutes and 39 seconds. We have to hold up and do what we didn't do last week against New Orleans.
Yeah, what they didn't do last week and what they also didn't do against the Indianapolis Colts. And they get another opportunity here to stop a team and give their offense the ball.
Now Delhomme is forced to put it up. And on a short throw, it's incomplete to Hoover. Out to Los Angeles, a game break. Here's James Brown.
A 4th and 1 to Sapp was big there. A 4th and an inch in their own territory. Big for the Skins. They go downfield. Ramsey to Gardner. Gardner to Trump candidate. Washington snaps a 4-game losing streak, knocking off Seattle. Back to Joe Buck.
JB, somewhere in the Gainesville dirt, that play was drawn up probably 10 years ago by Steve Spurrier, and it finally worked.
The fun and gun is back. And how about them Bengals?
On second down. Delhomme in a ton of pressure, and now it's intercepted. It's Wansley for the second time today. Tim Wansley already has an interception and a touchdown, and now a huge interception and a return down to the 24-yard line.
I said a little bit earlier in the game, Joe, that in order for this team to go on and do what they want to do, at some point, Jake Delhomme's going to have to be able to step up and make some plays for this team in the passing game. He's just not been able to do it. He's retreating. That's something that he's shown in previous games, and just makes an awful decision. I don't know if he was trying to throw that one away and he just couldn't get it out to the sideline or not, but there was no one there and no possibility of completing the pass.
But this still remains a big time now for this Carolina defense. Even with a touchdown, you still have a shot in the game because of the 8-point play. They need to make a stand here. Give them one more shot.
Both Buckner and Peppers on the sideline as the Carolina defense is on the field. And this is Pittman. Lowers his head. runs through a tackler and is brought down very near first down yardage. Howard on the tackle. It depends on the spot.
I'm just blown away, though, by the way that the stars on this world champion Buccaneers team have stepped up in the clutch. Warren Sapp with the catch. Simeon Rice, Keenan McCardell, Keyshawn Johnson, Brad Johnson, right down the list. They are stepping up and playing like world champions.
The run by Pittman was good for 10 and a first down. Carolina can keep Tampa Bay out of the end zone. They can have a chance. That's Jenkins on the stop and a loss on the play of 2. So a timeout called for by Carolina, each side with only 1 left. Tampa Bay with the lead and the football.
No one's
ends up going down shortly after.
And that's fine. That's fine, but you're 19 points down.
Right.
And you know that's all fine and dandy, but get the football down the field. Look for Anquan Bolden. Look for those guys that you drafted with all that speed, and Bryant Johnson and Gilmore's another guy that's got speed. Stretch the field, get some points in a hurry. I mean, stranger things have happened in this league.
And can you imagine what the Cardinals would be like without Bolden? You don't say that very often about the rookie or any rookie, but that's true. That one intended for Bolden there. And that's because if they don't have Bolden, I don't know how they throw the ball at all.
If they don't have Bolden, I don't know how they have 3 wins. And that's how good this guy has been. He's helped open up the running game. He forces defensive coordinators to game plan for him. And as I said, I mean, you look at Bolden.
Good job by Brad Johnson, just being able to get that ball off and complete it. He's just been phenomenal here in the last few plays.
Carolina spends their final timeout. 3rd down for Tampa Bay when we come back.
On November 18th.
May not get the amount of press he deserves, but you watch a play and he's making darn near.
Chicago Bears, the beat goes on the road. It's been a long time since they've won a football game. And that should do it.
You've really got to be able to run.
4th and 3 for the Cardinals. Blake outside and 10.
Dramatica anymore. Last time they played, 3 block kicks in that game, and it decided that football game.
3rd down and 10. On 3rd down and 10, Brad Johnson has to take a seat. And a big stop for this Carolina defense as Mike Rucker ends up on top of Johnson, a loss of 7. And for Rucker, his 11th sack. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have come back. This made it a 6-point game. And then after the sack by Simeon Rice, a 4th down and 1, that tossed to Sapp. And on 3rd down and 20, a wink after that incredible catch by Keenan McCardell. The extra point was good, and it's 21-20. Now a 39-yard try by Gramatica. Drilled. Gramatica, who has struggled in recent weeks, came into this game only 2 of 8 from beyond 26 yards, hits that one, and that forces Carolina, as they're about to get it back, to get it into the end zone.
And this game really turned around from my standpoint when we saw the Buccaneers going with a little bit more of a hurry-up offense and some body English there from Warren Sapp. But they have, when their pace quickens, when they have to get it done, Troy, they have gotten it done now 2 weeks in a row. You wonder why it is a football team like this has to wait for that desperation moment to turn it on, but that's what's been happening.
Well, yeah, it's happened the last couple of weeks. It's really happened throughout the season. They've been forced to play in a hurry at times. And last week, as you mentioned, that's what they were able to do. They were unable, though, to go on to win the football game. But Brad Johnson, when his back has been against the wall, he has found ways to make plays. And again, going back to what kind of set this thing up as well is the catch that Warren Sapp was able to make, and what a great athletic move he made in order to catch that football. I'm still surprised that Brad Johnson even attempted the pass.
Look at that game at the Meadowlands. 27-7, Atlanta on top as Dan Reeves is about to get career victory number 200. The Giants stumble again, and here Carolina has blown the lead. They're down by 4, and Smart gets to the 20 and beyond, out to the 22. Nate Webster on the stop.
And you go back again. This was 4th and 1. And they go for it with the naked boot. It appeared to everybody that Brad Johnson would keep the football and run for the first down. He had a ton of room. Instead, he throws it. It's a bad throw. And look at the athletic catch that Warren Sapp makes.
Hey, Kenyatta Walker made a key block on that play as well. And then the catch of the year. Keenan McCardell with the season on the line, making a one-handed grab.
So now forced to do what he doesn't do well. Delhomme will put it in the air and hit his tight end Mangum. That's his first catch of the day. And it's good for about 10 yards. It depends on the spot. And they're going to call it a first down without even measuring. Delhomme hangs on to it and misfires with Ricky Prohl, the intended receiver. He had Prohl wide open in the middle of the field.
Yeah, he did, and he kept looking to the flat, and he was given a lot of time. Again, you've got to realize when you're going against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you don't have time to sit in the pocket and hold the football. You got to know where your guys are going to be and unload it. And right now, Jake is just a little undecisive as to where he's throwing the ball.
2:08 left. 2nd down and 10 for Carolina. Down by 4. Again hanging on to it, and this time finding a receiver for a first down. Hankton, his first catch of the day. And that'll take us to the 2-minute warning. Panthers trying to get it going, down by 4 with 2 minutes left.
Fox NFL Sunday is brought to you by SVC. Going beyond the call.
I believe left on his contract. It'll be a year-to-year thing for him right now, but he's still having fun. I think that's the most important thing that I got out of him when we talked to him on Friday was, despite, and you've been on teams, Ron, I've been on teams where you've lost some games and things aren't going well and it's tough in the locker room, and he still came in with a big smile on his face. He's still having fun playing football. He's glad to be the starter again, and I think that's exactly where you need to keep him, as the starter on this offensive football team.
Final timeout called by Arizona as the Steelers punt away. They'll get one more possession.
People in that bar sure were friendly. And boy, that popcorn was good too. Not a single kernel went unpopped. Let me ask y'all a question. Have y'all ever had popcorn with cheese on it? Delicious.
Hey, let's do this again real soon. I'm free next Friday.
A teapot, toy robot, some gadget they have not got. Toolkit, oven mitt, a pink polka dotted dress you hope fits. Goldfish in a bowl and a new fishing pole. Oh, and a doll that says goo for your little niece Sue. Grand total, $300. The perfect present for one and all, for ones who are big and ones who are small. Priceless. Use your MasterCard and you can win a trip to Universal Orlando.
Jon Gruden still working hard on that sideline, and I guess as we look at what's happened this season with a collapse late in the Monday night game against Indianapolis, what happened last week, there's the Tampa Bay defense out there wondering if they can stop Carolina, and they know Carolina is going to throw it.
Jake Delhomme, every young quarterback has to have a moment. You know, when you prove yourself in this league, you prove yourself to your teammates, and what an opportunity against this world championship defense.
Well, and this defense is only bringing a 4-man rush, so there's not going to be a lot of throwing lanes for Jake.
On first down, Delhomme has Prohl, and a first down inside the 30. Ricky Prohl with his biggest day as a Carolina Panther.
They're paying so much attention to Steve Smith on the left side of the field. The safeties are cheating his way. They come backside to Ricky Prohl, and watch Jake Delhomme.
That's up for grabs, and that's into the gut of Muhammad.
That's what got him in trouble on the previous series when he just threw it up. That time he had pressure up the middle. He threw it up for grabs again, but this time he got away with it.
Plenty of time. Take your time, Jake.
First and goal from the 5. The throw, the catch, the touchdown. Steve Smith, and an incredible move down the field by the Carolina Panthers.
How about that, Troy Aikman? Jake the Snake. Wow.
You know, we've been talking about it, saying at some point Jake's going to have to be the guy to make the plays in order to get him through one of these tough ball games. He certainly did on that drive.
Down the field with no timeouts remaining. Keyshawn Johnson's already in Gruden's ear, as Casey will try to make it a 3-point Carolina lead. Penalty flag on the extra point. The indication is it's against Tampa Bay.
Get this added to the kickoff, which will hurt the Buccaneers even more. But Troy, I tell you, that play that Jake made right in the face of the blitz, just floating that thing up there. Another year, another time for Tampa Bay. 4 guys would have intercepted it, but it fell right in the lap.
I believe it was Ronde Barber that comes up inside, and Jake just throws it up. And you just don't have things like that happen. But they were able to make a play on that. And then here's the touchdown to Steve Smith. A little bit of a bobble, but he gets his hands on it and gets it in the end zone. Boy, what a series for Jake Delhomme in this offense.
And think about it for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers defensively. This is 3 games now. 3 games they've had it locked up. If they can make any kind of a stand at the end of a ball game defensively, and 3 times they failed.
Well, there's still time on the clock now for Tampa Bay offensively. They still have 1 timeout. All they've got to do is get down and kick a field goal to send this game into overtime. But you're right. To me, the definition of a great defensive team is when they have to make a play, they make a play, and Tampa Bay has not been able to do that. Carolina offensively did.
And the other thing I think we need to point out is the great pass rushers from Tampa Bay couldn't get there against this Carolina offensive line. They could not get there. They could get no pressure against an empty backfield set. That allowed Jake to work a little magic.
Kicking from the 35-yard line is Casey. This is Jones. Only out to the 22, and with 1 minute, 1 second remaining and 1 timeout on the clock, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, down by 3, have to go back to work.
Tell you what, this guy right here is plenty hot right now. World champions, let's see you go to work.
A guarantee from Simeon Rice during the week, and it's up to the offense to get it down the field. The pass is incomplete. Barlow, the intended receiver, and there's a penalty flag. Down back by Brad Johnson.
Personal foul. Grabbing the face mask. 67. Half the distance to the goal remains. First down.
This is the third time today Kenyatta Walker's been called for hands to the face mask. As you're going to see, you get up near the headgear. They were watching for this coming into the game, and he's been called on numerous occasions for it.
First down and 21. Over the middle, it's Pittman out of the backfield, and he's got a first down for the Buccaneers.
That's what we've been waiting for. Anytime you can get Michael Pittman going against linebackers, it's a mismatch.
John Fox said that was the one matchup that he was concerned with coming into this game.
That's Pittman getting to the sideline to stop the clock. Again, it's Witherspoon defending, a gain of 4. 29 seconds remaining. Back to the long completion of Michael Pittman.
When you want to drop back and play these cover twos, it allows the middle of the field to be wide open. And when you expect linebackers to run with somebody as fast as Michael Pittman, it creates a tough situation.
Rucker is out. Wallace is in on the defensive line. A 4-man rush. Johnson hit as he let it go. It's incomplete.
For the Carolina Panthers, it has been so long since they've had an opportunity to get back in the national picture. They had, of course, their second year end up in the playoffs, going to the championship game, back in the playoffs again, and then a long, long drought. And as you look around at these fans, they are really into it. This place has gone nuts.
Third down and 6. Johnson in trouble. Again gets hit as he let it go. Pressure by Peppers.
Well, they brought pressure by Peppers, but it was a 4-man rush, and Brad Johnson had plenty of time to try to find somebody. The problem was there was just nowhere to go with the football. He's looking and looking and looking and just cannot see anywhere to throw the ball, and then finally just throws it away.
You know, if he had stepped up on that play, there were some running lanes in there, would have the possibility of keeping this alive.
Only 16 seconds remain. It's 4th and 6. Pass is caught and now dropped. Incomplete. McCardell had it, lost it, and the Carolina Panthers will take over.
I believe that was safety Mike Minner who came in there at the end of that play and knocked the ball free. It's a close call. McCardell's going to get his hands on the ball.
What a throw.
2 feet down. I don't know that he ever really had it, though, Troy. It looked like the thing was coming out before the hit came. Remember, you have to catch the ball 2 feet down and then make a football-related field in some way and make a play. I think that ball was coming out before the hit was made.
Well, you're right. I don't think he ever had possession of it. Mike Minter knocking it loose. Right there, what a throw by Brad Johnson, giving him a chance, but as Mike Minter comes in, the ball's coming out. What a nice job by this Carolina team. The ups and downs, the roller coasters of the game, and for them to come back and do the job that they've done.
Yeah, we've got a booth review going on here.
And now they wind the clock, and evidently there is no booth review. And the Carolina Panthers have come back down the field. Jake Delhomme led it. He made it happen. And the Carolina Panthers are now 7-2. And the Bucs, the Super Bowl champs, are 4-5.
Yeah, Joe, and I think you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers now, more than likely it knocks them out of the divisional race. And And they're going to have to be looking at this as trying to get in more than likely as a wild card team.
Let's go down to Pam Oliver with Jake Delhomme.
Thanks, Joe. Jake, you made a couple of mistakes there. It looked like it was going to cost the team. How were you able to keep your wits about you and really give that team the lift it needed?
Well, I was real disappointed in myself. You know, we had an opportunity. We had the lead. And, you know, trying to throw the ball away was a terrible mistake on my part. And just didn't want to let this team down. Defense played great. Guys played great. And, you know, we practice 2 minutes all the time. And guys made plays. There's nothing more I can say. It's a huge win for us.
You beat the Tampa Bay Bucks twice. Now, for those people wondering, yeah, Carolina for real, I think you answered that question today.
You know, we think we are. You know, we might not be the prettiest team, but we have a lot of heart and we have a lot of character, and we fight. And I think we kind of resemble our coach. So, you know, we're doing the right thing, you know, and we wanted to close the gap in our division. We're doing that. We just got to keep on going.
I got to ask you about this football. Does it have any special significance?
No, this is a big win, man. I don't know. Anytime you can kneel down is the greatest play in football. I don't know. I'll give it to somebody. I'm not sure.
All right. Thanks, Jake.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Back to you.
All right, Pam, thanks. Tough for Jake to talk through that smile on a happy day in North Carolina. And for the Panthers and their fans, Jake Delhomme with his biggest effort, his biggest throws in his NFL career. Down the field, into the end zone, the lead, the victory. We're back after this.
Epson T001.